Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Gaming Quitter, the most delicious quitter of them all. Today we want to talk about the new mana spirals that will be released tomorrow for some water adventurers. I'm saying the word tomorrow in a really weird tone because Yuji Okada said that they would be released today. So he lied to us. Okada-san, I see how it is. But yeah, joking aside, I just want to take a look at these spirals together with you guys. Some of them look really good. Some of them look like they just slapped some frostbite on them, so we'll see. So we're gonna start with the King Sander. I have it open here on the website. Yeah, stats I don't really care about, but the skills are what's more important. So his first skill, Majestic Tide, has turned into a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and it deals water damage to the enemies in a line and inflicts frostbite, so this is new. The more buffs the user has, the higher the skill boost received, and the higher the damage dealt. I think that was normal. Yeah, that's been on the skill before. I have all of the wikis open so we can compare it when we get to the stuff. So gonna switch around a little bit. Please don't be confused by that. And then it continues with the whole new set of stuff. When you use Majestic Tide, it activates Born Ruler. During Born Ruler, the user's force strikes are powered up and can damage far away enemies, and this skill is enhanced into Majestic Tide 2, which deals extra damage. So I guess he gets a different force strike animation because it says that you can damage far away enemies, so really excited to see what. Maybe it's like a smaller version of Majestic Tide with that. When you use Majestic Tide 2, it adds an additional stack of Born Ruler, further powering up the user's force strikes and causing them to deal extra damage and bonus damage to frostbitten foes, while also enhancing Majestic Tide 2 into Majestic Tide 3, which deals extra damage. So this is really cool because the first time you use Majestic Tide, it inflicts frostbite, and the second time you use it, it does more damage when they're still frostbitten. And when you play the new Fire Agito, they're pretty much always frostbitten, so this is really good and helps doing more damage. When you use Majestic Tide 3, all stacks of Born Ruler will be consumed, or when you use a Force Strike, no matter how many stacks you have. So I guess it's better to save the stacks and use the skill when it's turned to Majestic Tide 3. But we're not activating using the skills, but yeah. But we'll have to see about that, because maybe when the Force Strike is powered up, that means you can maybe break more easily or earlier. But I think that's really cool what they did with the skill. It's like some kind of skill shift mechanic. I just really hope that they didn't double the SP cost for it or something like that, like they did with other characters. So we're going to have to wait and see how strong the skill will be. But right now, seems like a good skill now. They also changed his second skill, Royal Maelstrom, which before it just dealt damage to the enemies, and now it's also, I guess, I wonder if the Born Ruler counts as a buff, because it now deals more damage the more buffs the user has, which is awesome. Like, for example, when you're playing the Agito fight, usually you do have several buffs because we just are like, a lot of characters are there that support you with strength buff or defense, and so this is really cool. Sander gets a lot of power just by using the skills. So the rest that has been changed is like there's the completely the Born Ruler thing was renamed, I think. Yeah, exactly. Like before his 70 MC, he had the ability Striker's Strength, and which meant that you get a 6% strength increase for every 3 seconds you defeat with the Force Strike. And now you also get 5% strength while you have the Born Ruler effect. So this is cool because when you play an Agatha fight, you don't really have, or the High Dragon Trial, you don't really get to increase his strength by defeating enemies with 4 strikes, because you usually only have 1 enemy. So this is cool that they changed it, and so you're a little bit stronger when you use Majestic Tide. And I'm pretty sure that you're under the Born Ruler effect most of the fight. They also changed the potent stun res, the stun res to potent stun res, which is pretty normal by now. And I think they also increased, his ability that makes Force Strike stronger is also a little bit stronger by 5%. It's now 55 instead of 50. So overall, I think Xander looks really good. On paper, we'll have to see what his mods are and if it takes longer for him to use his skills, just like it did with Halloween Alisan. But for now, I think I'm kind of excited for this. I do have an Akita sword completely max unbound, so maybe I could just upgrade Xander. Another character which I would love to upgrade is Lily. I'm gonna close Xander's tab here, so I'm not don't have to switch around too much. I'm really excited for Lily, and they changed her up quite a bit, and I'm really excited for that. I just really hope that they also reduce the time it takes for her first skill to be done. Like, it takes forever. And Glacial Blossom still deals water damage, obviously, nearby enemies, and inflicts freeze and frostbite. So 2 afflictions at once, which is crazy. She obviously only inflicted freeze before, and they completely changed that, and now she does frostbite too. So yeah, like I said, they just slapped frostbite on everything. And her second skill is actually the one they changed more. She now deals water damage to surrounding enemies and activates Crystallian Princess for 30 seconds. During Crystallian Princess, the user's standard attacks are buffed and do extra damage to frostbitten enemies, and the area of effect of the skill is increased. Crystallian Princess will not stack, and a 30-second timer will be reset if it is activated again. So that means if you use Frozen Gale again... Wait, did they rename it? No, okay. So if you use Frozen Gale again, it just starts the timer anew. So basically, if you time it correctly, you probably will never be out of the Crystallian Princess mode. And if you have a Tiki on your team, that means, like on the backline, in theory, this could make Lily potentially very, very strong. And maybe she will be the new Pipple. Because if your normal attacks are getting buffed, that could mean that she can just deal a lot of damage just by doing the normal attacks. So I'm super excited for this. She inflicts freeze, which is cool in the Agito fight, because you can skip some attacks if it works. And now she inflicts frostbite. So this is really cool. Super excited for this. I really hope that the extra damage that you do during your standards attacks are worth it. But I think they will hopefully not undertune her. The rest of her kit isn't changed that much from what I've seen. Something that I'm really not a fan of is the full HP thing, but usually when you have a healer in the fights, then it should be okay. So they changed it from 15% to 20%, and they also slapped the potent stuff on her burn resistance. And what's really cool is that they also changed the skill prep, and I think they did this with someone else. I think it was with Veronica. So if you use a skill with Lily, her skill gauge gets filled by 5%. So the second you use a skill, you are already getting some of that SP cost refunded. That's really cool. So I really hope that her attacks will hit a bit more, and the whole Crystallian Princess thing just sounds really awesome. I will rate a little bit to see if she's really strong, but I may actually give her a 17 MC. But on the other hand, summer units are coming, so maybe I shouldn't. I'm not so sure. I'll have to see. So these two characters are like the most interesting for me at least. But there's someone else who's really interesting, and that is Karina. Karina was my, I said it in my this month in Dragalia video. Karina was my first 4-star I ever got, I think. I don't know if it's really true, but I used her quite a bit at the beginning, so super excited to see her get a 7 TMC. So, as with the others, her Raging Tide skill now inflicts Frostbite, and the more buffs the user has, the higher the skill boost received, and the higher the damage dealt. This isn't new, but the part with the Frostbite is new, I think. Let me check. Yeah, exactly. Like the whole buff thing was on her before, and that was her deal. Like, I think a lot of I've seen her being used in Mercurial Gauntlet at the beginning, because she could just do so much damage there because you can focus on getting buffs and all. And now she inflicts Frostbite, so that's cool. Her second skill, I'm not sure. Yeah, it also changed. Like, Black Flag deals water damage to surrounding enemies and draws them towards the user. Also increases the user's defense by 30% for 30 seconds, which is awesome. So now Karina is able to buff herself, and when you put some kind of double buff Wormprint on her, like strength buff, she gets strong. She gets 2 buffs, which means her skill 1 also gets stronger. So this is really, really good. And maybe I should. These characters are really good now. Hopefully they are good. So defense, blah blah blah, and oh yeah. This is what's really amazing. Like, before she had healing double buff already, and now she can activate the double buff herself with her skill 2, and so she has a healing double buff if you slap on a strength double. That's like such a tongue twister. If you put a strength double buff on her, she gets like 3 buffs just by using her skill 2, which means her skill 1 gets even stronger. So awesome! She also gets the potent stun res thing, and skill prep 100% and skill charge. So she also gets some of her skill SP back when you use a skill. That is also completely new. She also only had 50% of the skill gauge at the beginning. Huh, alright. So the next one is Luther. Let's just switch things around a little bit. So Luther, they didn't do much with him. They just slapped Frostbite on his skill 1, just like the others. And his second skill, I think, hasn't changed much. Yeah, so before, his second skill only reduced the strength of an enemy. Now it also reduces the defense, which is good. Oh no, it also did that before, so they didn't really change it up. Huh. Well then. They didn't change much. He only just inflicts Frostbite now. I guess the attacks will be stronger, hopefully. They will be buffed a little bit. And they really didn't do much with him. He still has Flurry Devastation 50% now, instead of 10, and Potent Stun Res, and his Passion... Oh yeah, they changed his Striker's Strength to Passionate Dancer, which means that aside from the 6% that you get from every 3 enemies that are defeated by 4 strikes, it also activates Passionate Dancer, kind of similar to what Xander has, but with Luther, it's like every time the user's attacks deal a critical hit. When this effect is active, the user's next 4th strike will inflict Frostbite. This effect cannot stack and will be consumed on use. After activating, Passionate Dancer will not activate again for 10 seconds. So this means he is just a really good Frostbite inflictor, maybe? We'll have to see on that. But overall, not a very exciting change to his kit. Like, I think that like, Karina is a little bit more interesting than him. But if you're a fan of Luther and he gets stronger, I mean, sure, why not? It's cool. Go and upgrade him. Then there are 2 3-star adventurers who are getting the mana spiral, which means that you maybe could have a potentially strong adventurer by not investing that much, and usually these are units that everyone has. So his first skill now also inflicts frostbite, and his second skill also inflicts frostbite. So he's going to be a really good frostbite inflictor too. Not much else has been changed for him. His full strength, he also has the full strength, full HP strength increase, which, like I said, not a fan of, even though now it's 10% more than before, so that's good. He gets a potent burn res for 50% and burn res 50%, so that means he's at 100% burn resistance compared to 75 before. And last but not least is our little boy Rickard, who hasn't seen much showtime yet. Maybe he will become a viable healer, even though Teniel and the Fisher girl, whose name I totally haven't forgotten, are really good. So they did not do much with him. His skill 1 now removes burning and restores HP to all allies, and Holy Water also restores HP to all allies and continuous healing over the next 15 seconds. So yeah, both are not changed much. The first one, like I said, removes burn now, so the rest hasn't changed much. Then he also has the ability that when his HP are full, he now not only gets an increase of 20% in defense, but also his recovery skills are 10% stronger. So it's really important for him to not get hit, because once he gets hit, his healing ability is worse. So someone who plays him needs to play really good. My god, I shouldn't record in the morning. I'm just stumbling over my own words here. But yeah, we're almost done. So potent stun res 50% and stun res 50%, which means he now has 100% stun res and also changed from 75%. So should you upgrade your adventurers? Like, this is the question you may have right now. In my opinion, these are good spirals, and I hope the mods on these will be also good. I think Sander and Lily sound really good on paper, maybe too good. I also think that Karina sounds like her spiral could buff her a lot, so super excited to see that, because she also has a really cool personality and her design is awesome, so I may actually 7TMC her. The other units, I'm not so sure. I think you could do that if you have the resources, and if you really like these characters, like Luther for example. He seems like he's a good frostbite inflictor, but I'm not so sure about him. Also Sartain, he could also be used to just slap frostbite on the enemies. We've seen it with Zania, that a 3-star unit can be really good, or with Vice, so I don't know, maybe Sartain becomes the new Vice. We'll have to see. So that's pretty much it. In the end, you always should, I think, well, maybe not everyone will agree with me at this, but you only should 7TMC units if you really have the resources for it, and wait on the mods. That's really important. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. I really hope that these 7TMCs will be good. Please tell me in the comments if you are going to upgrade one of these adventurers, and tell me who it will be. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also subscribe for more Dragalia Lost content. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye!